We're recording? Cool. Welcome to Minor Inconveniences, where two dumb bitches talk about their day and come up with new topics along the way. Today's episode is gonna consist of true crime.
And I'm here. I'm back.
Ember is back. Yes.
I'm so sorry that I wasn't here the last 2 days. As I said, I had my wisdom teeth pulled, and I couldn't talk for about a couple of days.
Yeah, she was very swollen.
Yes, I was.
But it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you want to explain, how did your wisdom teeth being pulled out feel?
It sucks. Y'all, it sucks ass. If you don't have to do it, don't do it. I am on an all-liquid diet right now. Well, not anymore. The first 4 days, I was on an all-liquid diet, just putting in jello and water. Now, I can have soft solids. I can eat soft solids, but I can eat, like, pancakes and mac and cheese. Bananas, but as soon as I'm done, I have to do, like, a salt water rinse every single time once I'm done. So, if you don't have to get your wisdom teeth out, don't do it. Just don't. Keep them in there. They're not causing you any pain. They're not doing nothing. Keep them. Don't do it, It sucks. You get put on pills. You can't brush your teeth for like 4 days because you could infect the back of your mouth. There's a bunch of stuff you can do that it could infect the back of your mouth. Just don't do it. Just don't. If you don't have to, don't. It's a hassle. At least I'm on day 7. I'm almost done.
Right. I did an episode alone. Y'all saw how down the rabbit hole I went. Amber, I discussed a bunch of topics that if you would like to go watch the video, you can do that yourself. Because I will not be discussing them here. I think everybody's tired of hearing me talk too much. However, they're going to have to get over it because I will be talking even more today. Are there any cases that are going on?
We never said what the topic today is true crime.
I did say the topic.
You did say true crime?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know you said true crime. My bad.
We just let you introduce your wisdom teeth portion.
Yes. My bad. Yes.
Yeah, she keeps them in a jar, guys. It's weird. I'm kidding. Okay, so I have loved true crime, specifically serial killer true crime. I don't know why. It has always been an interest of mine. Of course, everybody knows the two basic ones, Dahmer and Bundy. Everybody knows who Dahmer and Bundy is. I dove deeper into that as a child, a very young child, unfortunately. I think there is something wrong with me, but we'll get into that later. As of before, I talked to you about John Wayne Gacy. And you don't know who that man is.
I have no idea who John Wayne Gacy is.
Perfect. So, doing a quick Google search, if you'll give me like 30 seconds. Because do I remember all the case details off the top of my head? No. I know who he is and I know what he did. But I do not recall the exact details to a T. So we are going to look at some sources because I don't like to be wrong. His crime went about for about 2 years. He was a notorious serial killer. He was happening around the same time as Dahmer. So, of course, Dahmer targeted gay men. Yeah. Was that his motive? I'm not sure. Probably was. There's a lot of like conspiracy, like around whether or not gay. This is me personally. I don't believe he targeted black gay men just because they were black or gay. Just what he had available to him at the time. I don't know, because me personally, of course, he couldn't go after gay white men, because if white men started disappearing, obviously people are going to notice. And unfortunately, people don't like to notice when black people go missing. Yeah. Not that I agree with it, but it's true.
No, it is very much true.
He also targeted Asian, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Or not targeted, but that is also one of his
like minorities.
Counts. His youngest kill, Dahmer's, was at least 14, if I'm not mistaken. And that was like the most violent one, I want to say, or at least the one that's most recognized as one of the most violent ones because of how young the child was.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it now like makes me sick because that was a child.
Yeah, but I must say, when the Netflix series came out, we literally talked about this earlier. The actor who played Dahmer,
disturbing.
Round of applause.
He did a disturbingly good
job because you had me so disturbed. I had to turn off my TV.
There were some inaccuracies in that show. I don't believe he fucked the dead bodies, but I could be wrong. I don't think Dahmer did that though.
I would have put it past them.
I wouldn't put it past him either, but I don't recall that ever happening. Mm-hmm. Also, if you hear noise in the background, Thuggy and... Do you want to say your actual name, or...
I mean...
It's up to you.
Do y'all use your actual name?
I don't. She does.
Okay, I'll use mine.
Okay. We also have Twacy in the room with us. That is a friend of Amber's. Thuggy is in here, who's of course a friend of mine. Or at least he's on call. He's doing his hair routine as we speak. If at any point in time, Thuggy, you feel uncomfortable about the fact that we're talking about, you have every right to hang up. However. So John Wayne Gacy was notorious for being a clown. He was a priest or a pastor, right? Gacy business. Yes. No, he attended church, but he wasn't a pastor. Not that I'm seeing. A little paragraph here in the museum says that in Chicago, in Chicago, Gacy founded a successful construction business, attended church, remarried, and volunteered as the Democratic precinct captain in his area. During this time, he threw elaborate block parties and built a solid reputation in his community. Gacy was respected and admired by friends, neighbors, and police officers. So he was friends with people in the community.
Yes.
Always be the bitches who seem the nicest that do your bitch ass dirty. Anyway.
And he's a priest? That makes it...
I don't think he was a priest. I think I had that wrong.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what sodomizing is?
No.
Okay, I'll look that up for you so you don't have to become traumatized. Because I'm not going to give a good definition. Sodomized meaning.
Oh, wait. Before we even get deeper, if you don't like gore and stuff like that, probably don't listen. Just don't listen.
Sodomizing, it's like forced. Trigger warning. There's a lot of mentions of gore.
Is it forced SA?
Yeah.
You have to say SA for YouTube.
Okay, so there was forced SA in the nether regions for men. Do with that what you will. He was charged with that. He was charged with 2 counts of that. Oh! No, this was... Oh, okay. This was before he started killing people. Correction. He sodomized 2 young boys and was found guilty of it and went to jail for like 18 months. Only 18. And then when he was released, he moved. His wife divorced him, and then he moved to Chicago, and that's when he started like killing young boys. Here's the thing, though, which I'll get to later, but he refused the fact that he was a homosexual. He actually was compared to Dahmer a lot, like in the news and stuff like that. Yeah. But he hated being compared to that motherfucker, because because when everything came out about Dahmer, I believe admitted that he was a homosexual, or at least that he had gay tendencies. He'd go to gay bars, everything like that. Gacy kind of just fucked with little boys, but refused to be compared to Jeffrey Dahmer because Gacy hated Jeffrey Dahmer because he was a homosexual. It was counted on numerous counts that Gacy hated Dahmer and did not like to be compared to him. Also, the day that Dahmer got... Fun fact... It's also in the show. Huh? Okay, never mind. The day that Dahmer got baptized, because he converted to religion in jail. Yeah. The day that Dahmer got baptized...
Said he saved himself.
the day that Dahmer got baptized, Gacy was executed. If you've ever seen the show on Jeffrey Dahmer on the Netflix, it shows that in the show.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I'm trying to remember. It was a while ago when I watched.
So yeah, there was that.
You know, we should... Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm about to get so off topic, but next time we should do like last meals.
Like our last meals, or just last meals of serial killers, or just on death row?
Just people on death row last meals and rate them 1 out of 10.
Okay. You heard it here. Next episode's gonna be us rating last meals of death row inmates. What's your opinion on the death penalty? No, I'm kidding. Let's see. Yeah, so of course Gacy made a new life for himself after he did all that crap with those poor young men. 75. A teenager went missing. Also, the source for this is crimemuseum.org. If any of this is inaccurate, you are more than welcome to correct me. I just know like the baseline of this investigation because I watched a documentary on Netflix and absolutely love true crime. But this is just one of them that we're going to be talking about. I will also later in the episode be talking about the Black Dahlia because I absolutely love that case. Unfortunate of what happened to the woman, but it's interesting as fuck because it's unsolved. Anyway, there was a teenager who worked for Gacy, and his parents pleaded with Chicago police officers to investigate Gacy, but they never did. The amount of times that happens in the past with all cases, Bundy, Dahmer, and Gacy all have a tendency, which aligns with my racism theory, that multiple people called these people out and were not listened to.
Mm-hmm.
All of these serial killers could have been stopped if these people were taken seriously.
Actually, they're listened to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dahmer's neighbor reported multiple times a foul stench, and the only reason the police didn't further investigate it most likely was because Dahmer was white in a black community.
Yeah.
Ted Bundy, I'm not sure if it's real or not, but there was a report of, I think, a police officer coming forward and saying Ted would get drunk quite often and just say, I killed them all. And nobody took him seriously. They thought he was just drunk. And I could be wrong, but I swear I saw it somewhere that he said that. Sorry for the interruption. And then, of course, John Wayne Gacy's parents also notified the police in Chicago at least look into him, and they didn't. So,
no, but the parents. No, but let me tell you, the parents of the son who worked with him just told the police, "Why didn't you pull your?"
John Wayne Gacy's parents.
Oh, John Wayne.
Told the police. Yes, yeah. Or was it a teenager who worked for Gacy disappeared? His parents pleaded with the Chicago police officers to investigate Gacy, but they never did. I guess, no, it does refer to the teenager's parents. I thought it meant Gacy's parents. I was like, actually, that doesn't make any sense. Why did I say that? Misinformation, I apologize.
Okay, so the teenager's parents asked him to investigate
and
Gacy.
Those were not the only set of parents that had reported Gacy, like, please look into him because he's weird around my kid.
Yeah, but my thing is that if you notice, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. This may make me sound bad, but if you notice somebody's weird around your kid once, you're never coming around my kid again.
Yeah.
One time
back then, a lot of this stuff was very hard to like prove and or like accuse somebody of. Because back then,
I don't care. I would accuse you. I don't care. You're just not going to be around my kid.
Yeah. Well, that's not what a lot of people... Well, back then, a lot of people did not worry about things like this. It was a very different time. And it's because of cases like these now that everybody's like, get the hell away from me and my kid, stranger danger, all of that jazz. There were hitchhikers back then. That's Ted Bundy's whole thing. But, Gacy divorced a second time. Mind you, I think John Wayne Gacy had like 2 little girls. I think he was a father.
Yeah, that's what makes it worse.
He was a father. Thank God he didn't have a boy.
Oh my God, thank God.
It is unfortunate to the 26 young men who were found over a period of a few years, he murdered 33 people, 29 of whom were found underneath Gacy's house. 26 in the cross base, 3 bodies found in other areas beneath his home. And these were young boys from different kinds of ages.
Yeah.
First off, how the hell do you not find 33 boys that just go missing? Because if I'm not mistaken, a lot of them were white.
Was he a coach?
No, not as far as I know.
No? Okay. I'm thinking of somebody else. Yeah, no, man.
So how John Wayne Gacy got caught, essentially, was that a 15-year-old boy went to the police and told the police that, hey, he assaulted me and he kidnapped me. To which the police searched Gacy's home, obviously. Because the 15-year-old boy went to go ask about a job at his construction company. That's how he would get a lot of his victims, because Gacy worked for a construction company. So those boys would ask him, hey, can I have a job or can I start working for you? And then Gacy would play it off at first and be like, yes, you can have a job. He'd help them, and then those boys would eventually go missing. Nobody found that suspicious.
I would have found that hella suspicious.
When the police got involved and finally searched Gacy's home, they found things like a class ring, clothing for young boys, and other things, and finally found and they finally found a witness, and they found a witness who watched Gacy admit that he killed 30 people.
Mm-hmm.
So Gacy was arrested, attempted to use the insanity plea.
Insane.
And
they always try to play insanity.
They
always try to play insanity.
He attempted to use the insanity plea and plead not guilty, which is insane. How the fuck are you found? How are you not guilty when they found like over 30 bodies in your home? What? Of course, the court found him guilty, and not due to insanity. They just found him guilty because he's a sick bastard. And then was executed by lethal injection because by that point the electric chair was unethical by that time.
I think some states still do the electric.
Some states still do. It is still a thing.
Is Texas? Is it Texas?
No.
No.
Some counties can, because under the court of law, I learned this in my criminal justice class. Under the court of law, you can use the most recent type of execution. Because, for example, like way back when, a lot of people were still using the electric chairs, like a lot of states and counties, because they could not afford the lethal injection. The lethal injection is a multitude of medicines that are injected into a person that kills them over a span of time, or like a short amount of time. But some people couldn't afford that kind of medicine, so to which they were executed by electric chair. Now, it's more affordable, if I'm not mistaken, to make it less painful. It's still painful as far as I know, but it's less painful. So, I mean, the electric chair was working just fine to me.
Yeah.
But, you know. So that was John Wayne Gacy. He was also known as Pogo the Clown, the notorious clown killer. He painted, fun fact, he painted a lot when he was in jail. His paintings are worth thousands of dollars now. Let me show you the painting.
I ain't keeping nothing by no murderer or molester.
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy was also known as Pogo the Clown. This was his infamous painting.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yes.
Well, that's so creepy.
This is what he looked like. So this is, I believe, is him in his Pogo the Clown suit. If you want to see these photos, just search up John Wayne Gacy, Pogo the Clown, and you'll see. He did a multitude of paintings that are worth various amounts of money.
But I wonder if he got beat up in prison. Because I know the way they treated Dahmer in prison, they beat that man up like every day.
Well, they didn't put Dahmer in a separate wing in that prison. I'm almost positive they did for Gacy. Like, child molesters and stuff like that have to be put in a separate ward so that they are not killed.
Yeah, because they would be.
But they don't like that. Some jails don't have like separate wards, so it kind of just happens. Or you know, people pay other people off. Like you fuck him up, I'll pay you off. This, and this. So there's also that. A lot of his stuff usually goes around murderabilia, which is a synonym for memorabilia, but it's murderabilia. It's like some people. There's a museum that has Dahmer's glasses, things like that. So that's what they call murderabilia. He has a lot, or not a lot, but there is some, and people do, in fact, have it. It's insane to me. Why would you want to keep that? But, you know. Yeah, he was one creepy-ass motherfucker.
They should really do, like, dissects on these people's brains.
So they did on Dahmer. I remember that. They donated his brain to science. His mom didn't want him to, but his dad...
Yeah.
There's Dougie. Dougie has joined us yet again. Okay. So, for for Dahmer, they did dissect his brain. They really couldn't find a difference. There's no real, like, I guess, not psychologically anyway, or not psychologically, I mean, biologically, there is no indicator, like, for you to be a serial killer. Psychologically, yes. Obviously, like, your emotions can be shut off, like psychopaths and
Mhm.
sociopaths. Your emotions can be shut off, or you feel too much of one thing type of situation. But there's no real like there's like no serial killer gene, although there was a hypothesis or a thesis at one point, or a theory. God damn, I've been reading too much of my textbook recently. There was a theory that there was a serial killer gene, but it was inconsistent, so they didn't really count it. There have been different parts of the brain that has known to work in certain serial killers differently, but it's not like it was like majorly studied because not a lot of people wanted to work with a serial killer, surprisingly. I would love to. Personally,
just have me just safety.
yeah.
Just say,
Not if he or she is strapped to the chair. If they're strapped to the chair, I don't care. I'd be in the same room as them. I'm not fucking scared.
no, I still need someone. I don't trust that.
I'd like put an officer in the room, sure, but like, I want to work with psychopaths so bad. That's where this comes from. That's why I want to be a psychiatrist and also help people. But like, I would love to study psychopaths. Next, we are going to be talking about an unsolved case known as the Black Dahlia. She was a famous actress, if I'm not mistaken. Dahlia murder case. Yay. I forget that it was a tour. That there's a tour for it. Ha! Found the FBI website. Lovely. She was a 22-year-old in Los Angeles, and she was murdered in the Biltmore. Or was she last seen in the Biltmore? No, you're thinking of a different case, which we can talk about that one later. So the way they found her body, she was drained of blood. Completely, as far as I know. And they never found the blood. Not that that's funny, but like they never found her blood. She was completely drained of blood. She was sawed in half, drained of blood, and completely naked. Were there SA wounds on her? I'm not sure.
It's where I heard this about somebody like doing it with a not a live person. I'm trying to be modified for YouTube. Not a live person.
Yeah. There's a lot of theories. Like, this started a rumor of, like, vampires. Like, oh my god, there's vampires in Los Angeles. I'm like, a woman's literally been murdered and you're talking... Really? I'm not watching a video. No thanks. Her name was Elizabeth Short. R.I.P. She was severed cleanly at the waist. I forgot to mention that. So she was sawed in half, but it was clean. Like they knew what they were doing. Disturbing. She was cut. Oh yeah, the Glasgow smile. I forgot. She was cut from ear to ear, all the way down, like in a horrific smile, completely drained of blood, and there were no signs of struggle. She didn't have like rope marks that they normally do. She some people describe it as ritualistic mutilation. Like, she was offered, and she did it willingly. I can't fathom that, so I'm not going to say that it was. But some do speculate that she did it willingly, because there were no signs of struggle on her body. That was sawed in half and drained of fucking blood. I think she was sawed in... Okay, me personally, she was probably sawed in half after. Like, she was drained of blood. She could have been drugged. I don't think they tested for drugs back then. But then again, she was sawed in half, so I don't know what exactly was left to test.
I don't know. Well, if they took it all, if they took the blood, there would be nothing to test.
Yeah. Newspaper Lewis implying she was... Oh, yeah. They accused her of sex work. And, like, that she had basically done this to herself.
Excuse me.
Yeah, a lot of sexism played into this. there were like, of course, when a serial killer or like a big death hits the newspapers, there were people like messing with the police, sending in letters saying like I was the killer or some shit like that. You know, like you know how back then they used to take like they cut letters out of a magazine and make, yeah, they would do stuff like that. There was a lot of people. Huh? Public blah blah blah. Sorry, I'm reading something. Cleveland torso killer. Oh, this is just okay. This person's just going off of what they think. They never found the killer. Like they don't know who killed her to this day. There was a lot of things happening around that time. Like there were, like this website said, there was the Cleveland torso killer that murdered in a similar way, but they never really connected it to him. I don't believe. There's a bellhop killer also around the time. There were also people that were speculated to, because if you go to the Biltmore Hotel where she was last seen, you see pictures of her, and like when you look, you have to know who she is because it's not like they put her name up or anything like that. They just put a picture of her up in the hallway, which is a bit weird, personally.
Yeah.
But like you would have to know who she is. And I did at the ripe age of 15 when we went to LA. I stayed in that hotel, by the way. It's so cool. Tragic.
But when was
Tragic.
she?
Huh?
But when was she?
In the 40s, I believe?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 1947. Okay. That was Black Dahlia. Do I know a lot about the case? No. I just know the fact that she was severed in half, had no blood, her face was discontorted horribly. I still remember the goddamn pictures of the autopsy because there's pictures of that on there. It's disturbing.
I would not want to see
Look
that.
it up at your own risk. I didn't tell you to.
Yeah.
Personally. Do you have... Oh, the Zodiac Killer! That's the one I wanted to talk about first. We talked about John Wayne Gacy, Black Dahlia, and Zodiac Killer. Do you have any killers that you want to talk about? Because I've been talking this entire time.
I don't really have a lot of...
Do you know a serial killer that you want to know more about?
No, I can talk about one story after yours.
No,
I
you can
talk
go ahead
about...
and go since I've talked about two already.
You know what? Well, I mean, the ones I know the most are like the cults, the religious cult back in the 70s.
Oh, which cults? Which ones?
I wish I remembered the name. Oh my gosh, I wish I remembered the name.
Charles Manson? Is that who you're thinking of?
It was somebody, and there's a lot of intersex. He made sisters and brothers do it. They literally slept.
You're describing a lot of cults, though. I'm
yeah, I know. I guess I just talk about all cults because I can remember the name of this certain one.
Do you have one like Heaven's Gate? I believe is what it was called. Heaven's Gate.
Because it was that one. You know, they slept naked.
Yeah, Heaven's Gate.
He had a bunch of wives. Some were little girls. Oh, he also slept with his daughters, whoever that was.
Homegirl, a lot of cults.
Yeah,
There's
I know.
people that do that to this day, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. But this one, he was really big because it was big all over me. He was the biggest one.
I have a question. Did he look like this by chance? Is this who you're thinking of?
Maybe.
This is Heaven's Gate.
It probably whichever one's the biggest one. He was the biggest. There was a bunch of them, but he was the one who kind of put it.
Did they all commit suicide?
I think so.
Yes, you're thinking of Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
Pretty sure all of you know what Heaven's Gate is, but if you don't, Heaven's Gate was a cult that committed suicide together, basically. They were so big, they got sponsored by Nike. Do you know how fucked up that is?
Nike probably didn't even know who they were sponsoring. Nike, no, imagine being deceived. I would have been like, I can't believe I did that.
These people believed that UFOs were going to come for them and take them up to heaven. That's what they believed. They all their heads were shaven. They all wore similar clothing. There were married couples that went into this, or typically cultists or like the leader of a cult typically looks for people that are lost. Like
Mm-hmm.
a cult that I think is an actual cult, but I don't want to be killed by them. Scientology. They usually they call it a religion,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine, I guess. But typically religions and cults on a textbook definition go hand in hand. There is a distinction, but it's barely there.
Yeah, they do go in.
They go hand in hand. There are distinctions. I'm not dogging on any religion. I'm just saying it's been there. If you look at the facts between a religion and a cult, there's very distinct differences, but there's not too many distinct differences, which is kind of scary. But cultists typically go for people that are weak-minded, like people who have just lost somebody, people going through stressful situations, things like that, because it can give you something to turn to in a moment of grief or needing anything or anything like that, which is why a lot of people usually convert to religion.
Yeah.
Like, it's how a lot of people, like, example, Christianity. A lot of people turn to Christianity most times when they've dealt with a great loss or are trying to clean up their life, things like that. And it does work for some, so hats off to you. But, Heaven's Gate was one of those things. He was a fucking weirdo.
No, I said he got one of his daughters pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his daughters were the ones who told the story about everything because they hated that man.
I don't know that.
And I don't blame them for hating that man.
I don't know if that's.
But you know what's crazy though? You know the crazy part? His wife went along with it. His wife was there for everything. His wife didn't care, and that's what's bizarre to me. I'm like, the fact that you can sit there and watch your husband do something like that to millions of people and not care because you're getting money off of it, or you're getting off of it too, because she did get off of it too, is insane. Yeah. But the people who I was really upset with were the people who brought children into it. Oh, I was so mad. Especially the ones who already had kids. I'm like, why would you do that? That is so wrong. If you're married and you're single and you want to go do a cult and do all that stuff, okay, great, do your life. Don't bring kids into that. Don't do that. No. No. You leave your kids out of that.
Oh yeah, they castrated themselves. I forgot about that. Yeah. They weren't too big around the time. Like, they were known, right? But they were known, like, as a religion. Like, they would, of course, they castrated themselves and all shaved their heads to look similar. Because there was this, I believe it says Revelation. The Revelation to John, the last biblical book of the New Testament. This is from Bernatica, so I don't know if this is really a good source. But it is the only book of the New Testament classified as the apocalyptic literature rather than historical, indicating thereby extensive use of vision, symbol, and allegory, especially in the connection. Blah, 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 blah. John, who calls himself the servant of Jesus, essentially the end of the world, or like the new coming, and something is meant to take them to heaven. Kind of like, what was that thing that was happening?
The rapture.
There you go. Similar to that. These people believe that this comet that was supposed to happen that did happen on the spring equinox was supposed to take them to heaven. Like, that was their rapture, basically. So they all committed mass suicide by poison. 39 individuals specifically.
Toysy just putting her head down. So it's just like, oh my god.
Wait, are they the one with the fruit punch?
If I'm not mistaken, yes.
I mean, something they put some poison in some fruit punch and everything.
Yes! That is how they poison themselves. They drink Kool-Aid. Can you imagine that's your last meal? Purple Kool-Aid.
That's insane. Another one is not really like a true crime, but I find it interesting because a lot of crime did happen. Woodstock was pretty. It's not even like true crime, but Woodstock, pretty interesting.
What are the details? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Woodstock is basically, so imagine a bunch of hippies. Just imagine a bunch of hippies just in a
What did they do?
It's kind of like Coachella. There was a lot of drugs. There was a lot of drug death because, of course, meth and coke, all those drugs were popular. It was like the 70s and some 80s of Woodstock. A bunch of SA of girls underage, of course. A bunch of burning down. There was a lot of people. Imagine Coachella, but not organized. People were sleeping outside in their own feces. You had people who walk around naked. And so you have people who would literally just be doing it wide open. You had a bunch of drugs going on because, of course, it's basically hippies. You know, they're like, yeah, free spirit, weed. Nothing wrong with weed. You want to smoke, you smoke. But back then, that was it was a lot. They were like, all the weed, all of the all the dangerous, because weed is not as that, we can be dangerous, but not that dangerous. Majority of the dangerous drugs were there, and it was just a really bad time. You had a lot of people who died from heat because they didn't have enough water or food. It ended up burning to the ground because they burnt it out of rage.
Is that why it's not a thing anymore?
Yeah, it's not a thing anymore. But you do have Coachella, which Coachella is more organized, though. No, but Woodstock is a great documentary to watch. The men who ran it were just... Because they say that they tried to keep people out who didn't pay, but people could still walk on, so you really weren't keeping people out. And people could still walk on. And then it was so overcrowded. But, yeah, no, it was just very dangerous. Very much not safe.
Oh, it's a music festival.
Mm-hmm. It's
like,
a music
I was listening
festival.
to you, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. The day the music died. Jesus. There are documentaries and stuff on it. I don't personally know about Woodstock.
Yeah, no, they did it once. It was bad.
No, so it started in 1969.
Yeah.
Lol. But
yeah, that's what I said. Like the era, like hippies started coming.
Yeah.
So, and then they did it again the second time.
In 99.
10 times. Yeah.
99 was worse.
It was 10. Ooh, it was 10 times worse. And then they never did it again.
Oh, it wasn't like a yearly thing. It wasn't a yearly thing.
No.
Because they did that one time and it went poorly. Well, here's the thing. The music that they had, it was great, but the people, it ended up so bad because you have to think about it. You had so many people who were dehydrated, who were on so many drugs. It wasn't safe. It was not a safe place to be. It truly was not.
No. So RIP to all the people that were brutally... Oh! This is another one. We even talked about him in one of my criminal justice classes. Charles Manson. Ring a bell?
No.
Cult leader. Died at 83. Around 2017. Somewhere around there. I know who he was during that time. Because he murdered a whole bunch of people, essentially. There was a whole documentary on him. In prison, he admitted to killing a lot more people than he was charged for. Which, I don't know why he would do that. But he was given the death penalty, and then in the area, in the state that he was in, like the prison, in that state, they ruled out that you couldn't be killed by the death penalty unless it was under extreme circumstances. Or I think the death penalty had been ruled out altogether in that state. Like the death penalty wasn't legal punishment. So he was just on death row and then given life. That happened to a lot of places, like all over around that time when they were starting to like rule out the death penalty and everything in a lot of places. So I can't find much without there being a paywall, honestly, and I'm kind of sick of this.
But one more thing about Woodstock I forgot to add. A lot of things that filled them because rock was really big.
Yeah.
And a lot of rock music back then had a lot of rage, a lot of anger. And so that's kind of what riled them up, and that's what kind of made they tore down something. I don't remember what they tore down, but they tore it down.
Okay, so Charles, I'm not saying his middle name, Manson, November 12th, 1934 was when he was born. He died November 19th, 2017. He's born in Cincinnati, Ohio. Why? Actually, let me not. He had multiple wives. And he had 3 children. Why did this man say that he was a Scorpio?
Bro, don't nobody care about your zodiac sign. Nobody
His
care about
real
that
last name was
zodiac sign.
Maddox. Manson wasn't even his true last name. But he had already been to prison before for stealing checks.
Mm-hmm.
He was a pimp in Cincinnati, Ohio.
I'm sorry. The fact that you're a pimp and that you're running a cult, that's just...
No, he wasn't a pimp he wasn't a cultist during this time. He was a pimp at the time.
But he was a pimp who ran a cult.
Later on.
Yeah, I know. But him just being a pimp, if you would have told me, oh, he was a pimp, I would have been like, that says it all.
Anyways, he stole cars and was passing stolen checks. He went to prison. He also got 10 years in Washington State for violating his probation. And fun fact, while he was incarcerated, he learned how to play the guitar and read music. Lovely. In 1967, he was released from prison and moved to San Francisco, where he established himself as a hippie cult leader. This is This is from biography.com if y'all want to read this. He found his first follower, Mary Bruner. She is also a big, She was a librarian from Wisconsin and became his first recruit. Poor woman. She was from Berkeley. That actually makes so much sense. And then his second follower was a teenage runaway, which was Lynette Fremy. That is how you spell that last name. So that's how I'm saying it. There were 35 confirmed followers, which, can you guess how many of which gender was the most congregated?
Female.
Yep. 35, most were young women.
Dude was a pimp. I'm sorry.
They basically did a bunch of drugs too, like LSD and mushrooms. Don't do drugs. They eventually moved to San Fernando Valley of California. And he basically presented himself as Jesus.
I'm not shocked.
Neither am I. He's mainly claimed that like art and music were his thing. And he also he disguised it mainly as that. Like it was just like a hippie thing that he didn't have plans of murdering people. I don't know why. But yeah.
That's a lot of hippies back then. They joined a lot of cults because they were like, I want to be free. I don't want to be tied down.
They either joined a lot of cults or were always scammed. Also, back then, as far as I know, hippies were assholes.
They were. Yeah, no, they were.
Hippies were assholes.
Yeah, they were. They were not
the people who listened to rock that were the cool ones or the nice ones. No, because I would have loved to gone to a Metallica concert. I know those people were nice, most of them. I'm not saying that there's some rotten apples in the basket, but his loyal disciples, reading exactly from the website here, Mason and his young loyal disciples are thought to have carried out as many as 35 murders. Jesus Christ. But most of their cases were never tried due to lack of evidence. So they were good at it? LSD would not be good at killing someone. The main perpetrators were sentenced to life for brutally killing 7 people, including actor Sharon Tate and a supermarket executive, Lino LaBianca, and his wife, Rosemary, on back-to-back nights in 69. When Woodstock was created in 69. Damn. What was up with the 1900s?
The hippies, they were taking over. Well, at least until the 90s.
Mason was basically like against big Hollywood people. Homeboy had the right idea. The wrong execution.
Wrong. Way wrong.
I think he more of envied Hollywood people rather than hated them.
Like, that's the one thing I'll give hippies. I feel like hippies, they had a good idea of what they want. They went about it the wrong way. Wrong way, dudes. Y'all went about it all the wrong way. Instead of being free, y'all joined religious cults.
One of his followers basically ratted him out. They were 18 years old, by the way. And became like the star witness in his trial. That motherfucker was also crazy. Like, if you've ever seen documentation from his trial, that you could tell that man was insane. Or just high. One of the two. But he was arrested, so I'm sure he wasn't high. But that motherfucker was insane. Stabbed 28 times. Damn. Oh, they had a lot. Look how short he was. Don't tell me y'all let that short ass man. Let me not speak on the ill. Wait. Let me not speak ill of the dead. But like, goddamn. That man is old. That man was tiny. Y'all thought he was Jesus.
And can we just say this again? If we are speaking biblically, Jesus is not white. Jesus is from Jerusalem.
Palestine.
Jesus is not white. Why are these people thinking I'm Jesus? Jesus is not white. Jesus, has anybody watched the Prince of Egypt?
Also, yeah, why do y'all also think that Egyptians were not black? That's a whole discussion for another day. There are people that believe that the Egyptians weren't black. Because, like, they were high royalty and shit like that.
Oh, because we can be high royalty? Okay. I'm not even sure.
I don't believe that.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. That's insane.
Ironically, literally, it says ironically here, ironically, Manson and his family were not arrested on suspicion of the murders, but simply on the belief that they had vandalized a portion of Death Valley National Park while hiding out in a Mojave Desert? Something like that. They took him into custody, not realizing that they were involved with the murders. And Susan Atkins eventually confessed that they were involved with the murders. And eventually they just investigated more and realized, oh shit, these are the people that killed all of those people. Cool.
So you accidentally found the right people. Like, cool.
Oh, they were racist.
I'm not shocked.
According to this, his prophet vision included belief that the race war would result in black victory, which would lead Mason, along with his followers, mentoring the black community as they would lack experience to run the planet.
Damn.
I want to give context. Amber and Tracy are black and I'm Mexican.
They just thought we were stupid. They said, let me go to these black ass people and let me educate them. Cause this
was a glorified KKK.
Because these black N-words don't know what's going on.
I love how you're black and you censored the slur. According to a defense witness and a murderer, Leslie Van Houten, some shit like that, this was the primary reason why they murdered the LaBiancas. Mason had taken the wallet of the murdered Rosemary with the intention that he would deposit it in a section of Los Angeles where a black person might find it, use it, and then possibly have the murders pinned on them.
And then he wants to put it back up. This man is just a KKK. I don't like this man.
I think we can say that on YouTube, so you might have to edit that out. A certain hooded group.
I can say that.
On YouTube?
Yeah, you can't say the full word. You can use the abbreviation. I can say KKK.
We can say KKK?
Yeah. The triple K.
The triple K!
Listen, alright? If I truly do need to be modified, the triple K can go, and them can go kick rocks. Alright? You're telling me, no, Nickelodeon says, I already don't like this man, alright? But now I'm figuring out that he's racist. I don't like you even more. You can go, I hope that wherever you are, your pillow's always warm. And that your socks are always wet. And that anytime that you go to put on a long sleeve t-shirt, the long sleeve t-shirt never touch your wrist. They stop at your forearm. That's what I wish.
Sorry, I was not listening to a word you said. I was reading this. So apparently one of his lawyers dropped him, and then that lawyer was found several months later dead with his decomposed body in the woods. Damn. Homeboy released an album to raise money for his defense.
Stop lying.
I'm not! This is what this is claiming!
This man is just insane. This man just didn't care.
This was the funniest one.
He just didn't care. He truly
Again, we
just
are not mocking the dead. We are mocking the motherfucker who killed multiple people, because I don't believe that anybody who's killed somebody deserves... Anybody who killed somebody just cause doesn't deserve respect.
Mm-mm.
If you had a
Just
justifiable reason.
Yes, if you have a justifiable reason, go get it.
I mean reasonably justifiable,
Mhm.
as in like self-defense or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah, I figured during the trial, none of the killers showed remorse. Obviously. I feel like they wouldn't have
Mm-mm.
if motherfucker released an album. I wonder if you can still listen to that shit.
It's not even that. Of course, one, he released an album, then he tried to put a wallet down and blame it on a black person. Like, fuck you. You know, I do remember there's this one lady who was an Italian gangster. It was like back in the 1920s. It was a lady, like, honestly, badass woman. I'm so sorry. She was an Italian gangster, and she used all these men to kill all her victims. Of course, she went to jail. She got the electric chair. But, because I was watching this one channel where they do, like, the food challenges. Oh my god, I don't remember what their name is, but they eat, death row people's last meals and they rate them. And, I wish I remember the name of the channel. If people know, then they know. But yeah, but you know, I was like,
shut the fuck up. Sorry, not you.
Hmm?
I'm reading this.
No, I know. I'm like, what is it?
There's this 26-year-old who claimed that her and Charlie were like in love and were supposed to get married. They got married. He was 80 and she was 26 and obtained a marriage license while he was in prison.
She's in love.
She was, and she created websites to not only induce his release, like she was attempting to like get petition signed so that he could be released and raise money for his release, like in an attempt.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
It just keeps getting worse.
I need the Delulu these people are under. I need that Delulu.
Starr primarily intended to marry Manson so she could publicly display his corpse for profit after his death. Supposedly, there were allegations.
Can I just say something really quick? The Delulu that these women had is the Delulu that I need. Not that much Delulu, but just a little to get somebody, man. I'm single over here. But no, they had a lot of Delulu. That's a whole lot. That's a whole level.
So he has two
illusion.
infamous quotes. I've heard of this one. I am not a bad person. I am a good person. That was one of his. And then the second one. Look down at me and you see a fool. Look up at me and you see a god. Look straight at me and you see yourself. In any other context, that would be a bar.
No, yeah, in any other country, that would be amazing.
That would be a bar.
When you say it, it's
Kind of fucked.
yeah,
Very fucked, actually.
because you are nowhere near God.
Another case that I want to introduce. Mainly because one of them I feel like was done wrong. Not necessarily she was done wrong, more that the public made her out to be a lot worse than she was. Bonnie and Clyde. We're moving on.
Bonnie and Clyde. I don't think I really ever really looked into Bonnie and Clyde. I always just knew they were a couple who stole together, right?
Yeah. This is them.
Right. I don't really know like the true backstory behind.
I
Bonnie
don't
and Clyde.
particularly either. So
I just feel like everybody always knows them. I feel like anytime I feel like they will go on for history.
I know these two were mass murderers who stole a lot. They got movies and shit named after them after they died. But if this were a colored couple, my parents were them for Halloween once. Did I ever say that?
That's funny.
Well, because they're known as like the ultimate love story.
Yeah,
So,
because
I
the
don't know.
thing is that when you think about it though, I can't
she
name.
said ride or die, and I'm like, girl, not that kind of ride or die.
She meant ride or die. I can't name
Yeah.
another couple who is down for each other like that. I do remember I saw this one story about this one woman who kept killing her husband just for the insurance policy. She didn't even want the man. She just wanted the money. I'm like, girl, at that point, just go get a rich man. Of course, she got the electric chair. I forgot how many husbands. I think she had like 5.
Yeah, they were hella wanted.
Who started it? Was it Bonnie or was it Clyde?
Clyde, the man. Bonnie and Clyde met in Texas in January 1930. Jesus, what was up with the 1900s? Yeah, we never talked about the Zodiac killer. We'll do
We'll
that.
talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, we can talk about it after this one. Clyde was she was 19, married to an imprisoned murderer.
Oh my god. That just oh my god. You can stop right there. that explains enough.
This
That
is from the
explains
FBI
everything.
website, by the way, FBI.gov.
That
Clyde
explains
was
everything.
21 and unmarried. Soon after, he was arrested for burglary and sent to jail. He escaped using a gun Bonnie had smuggled to him. First off, he's in prison. How fucking stupid are the guards? How do you smuggle a gun into a prison? You know how hard that is to do? Maybe it's harder now because of
But
this,
he was white
fair.
in the 1930s.
Yeah, you're right. He escaped using a gun Bonnie had smuggled to him, was recaptured, and then sent back to prison. And they let him out on parole!
What? I'm so sorry. We're about to take a stop from that story right there and talk about that. How are you
If that was a black man?
No. How are you gonna get out? No, first of all, this is the one thing I hate about people who escape from prison, especially the ones who get out and then they stay in this state. Leave the state, leave the country, do something, get a boat. All right, I don't know. One thing I gotta say. All right, how do you get out with a gun? With the gun, it has to be loaded. Had to with the gun, and then you get recaptured, and then you get put out for parole. And 99, I must say, this 19-year-old Bonnie has something going on up in there. And also, Clyde had to look some type of way. I'm so sorry. That man had to be some type of fine or something for you to be wanting to do that.
I think this one's Clyde.
I need to get a little bit closer. I'm so sorry. I gotta
Amber's
see.
a bit blind.
Because you smuggling a gun for
This
a man.
is either the other three
A
that they
man.
were with. Hold on, let me go back to the... Let me actually look them up. Bonnie...
Because I'm so sorry. Smuggling a gun for a man. Smuggling anything for doing
put your
anything
life on the line for
a
that?
man. I'm sorry. You're putting your life on the line and maybe going to jail for a man. A man, not a man hater, but a man. Oh hell no. Oh girl, no. She could have done so much better.
Damn. Anyway. So, in 1932, they started traveling with a man named Raymond Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander
Hamilton.
Hamilton. Anyway, Hamilton left them several months later and was replaced by William Daniel Jones in November. And then there was Ivan M. Barrow, which was Clyde's brother, and was released from Texas State Prison on March 33, having been granted a full pardon by the governor.
The whole family is going to jail. We got the brother.
And his wife joined. The brother's wife joined too. Her name was, what was her name? Blanche. Bringing the group to 5. So it was
So
Bonnie and Clyde, William,
So let me hear this.
Ivan, and Blanche.
So let me just say this. It was Scooby-Doo. Just opposite. They were doing the crime. They weren't solving it. That was Scooby-Doo. That was
They basically formed a gang and did
Scooby-Doo?
several robberies.
all they needed was a Great Dane.
Eventually,
I'm sorry.
Eventually, Buck was fatally wounded and Blanche was captured. Jones was mistaken for Pretty Boy Floyd, who was frequently mistaken for Pretty Boy Floyd, was captured in 1933 by Houston, Texas officers. Bonnie and Clyde survived and went on together. Oh, how cute. Ew. In 1933, the Dallas, Texas sheriffs and his deputies set a trap to capture Bonnie and Clyde near Grand Prairie, Texas. But the couple escaped the officers' gunfire, and they held up an attorney on a highway and took his car, which they abandoned in Miami, Oklahoma. There's a city called Miami in Oklahoma?
What?
I love how we're reading this true crime case, and dead ass, we're worried about Miami, Oklahoma. Right?
That's just so odd.
And then on December 21st, they ended up robbing a citizen in Louisiana. Damn. On January 16th and 1934, 5 prisoners, including Raymond Hamilton, who was serving sentences totaling more than 200 years, were released from prison at Waldo, Texas by Clyde, accompanied by Bonnie.
I'm sorry, the people you're looking for steps into your prison and you let them take people out of your prison? The criminals you are looking for step into your prison and you don't question it? I'm so sorry. 1930s white people.
So Barrow had basically, Barrow. Wait, what? I thought Burrow was killed. It says fatally wounded. That I feel like that is a pretense that he was killed, but he wasn't. He was imprisoned. And then they apparently hid guns in a ditch, and then they killed 2 guards in the process of escaping. So did they also get Blanche? Did they leave behind the chick? I don't think they did. Among the escapees was Henry Methvin. Methvin. Methvin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is Bonnie, and then this is Clyde. Oh no, Barrow is fucking Clyde's last name. My bad. Clyde and then William D. Jones. So this is Clyde, and this is that friend. And then this is Bonnie. She has pistols and everything. How did they get this picture of her?
But I'm not gonna lie.
April 1st? April Fool's Day? Grapevine?
Why are they still in Texas? If I was Bonnie and Clyde, I knew I was wanted, I would have left the country. They probably would have let you.
Bonnie and Clyde encountered 2 highway patrolmen and shot them dead before the officers could shoot them. And then on April 6th, in Miami, Oklahoma, a constable, is what it's called, was mortally wounded by Bonnie and Clyde. The criminals also abducted and wounded a police chief. God damn.
My thing is like, what was the motive?
Fuck it. Fuck it, we ball? That's what it seems like.
No, I'm just saying, like, most people, you have the...
Well, they never really knew, because Bonnie and Clyde weren't arrested. They were shot and killed. Like, their car was fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
There were bullet holes everywhere.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I would love to know if somebody could ever figure out by anybody or any papers why they did.
I could look it up real quick after I'm done.
To why they did what they did. Was it for the thrill, or was it because you just had nothing better to do? You just said fuck it. Because if you're just doing it because you just said fuck it, and I'm like, okay, man, if that's you, I mean, you weren't getting caught no way.
Okay, yeah. So, essentially, Bonnie, Clyde, and the Methvins, like that family, were housing Bonnie and Clyde, and they had been throwing parties. and they had been going back and forth between Texas and Louisiana. So the cops hid in bushes where they knew that Bonnie and Clyde were going to be driving down and ambushed Bonnie and Clyde and then shot them dead on May 23rd, 1934. At the time they were killed, Bonnie and Clyde were believed to have committed 13 murders and several robberies and burglaries. Clyde was suspected of murdering 2 police officers in Missouri and was suspected of kidnapping a man and a woman in rural Louisiana. He released them near Waldo, Texas. There's a place in Texas called Waldo.
I guess so.
Who
knows? You can't find him.
Homeboy was killing everybody everywhere. There's case records that are available? Hold on. Yeah, some of it may be disturbing. I don't care.
No, I'm just sorry. I'm still not over this. For a man? Girl, a man? She did it all for a man. She said ride or die.
I can't read.
And she meant it too. Because they did die. They died together.
This is cool. You can see like actual documents and stuff from the FBI's vault. Cool. So yeah, that's Bonnie and Clyde. Now the Zodiac Killer.
Wait, no. I need you to look up why was it what was her motive, really quick. I just need to know. If there wasn't a motive and they just did it because they're like, because I can, I'm like, okay, well, at least use your freedom of speech.
Homeboy, what?
Man, I don't know.
Their crime spree occurred in the height of the Great Depression. They were probably broke as fuck and said, fuck it.
Now I get it. I wouldn't do it. But
homegirl said, nah, I get it now.
I wouldn't do it.
I'm gonna make some popcorn. You tell your thoughts.
Because the thing is that, like, I wouldn't do it. But
is it okay if I make some popcorn?
Yeah, it's fine.
No, thanks.
I'm like, no, but this is my thing. They were basically Scooby-Doo. Yeah, Bonnie and Clyde were Daphne and Fred, and then the other 2 were Velma and Shaggy. All they needed was a dog. They were the mystery crew. So they did the mysteries. Y'all, that's it. Like I said, I've never truly just looked up the Bonnie and Clyde story. I want to know how she met this man. That's what I also want to know. And you know what I also want to know? Why do people want to date people in prison?
I was about to say that.
Like love after lockup or
yes.
during lockup?
Yeah, like love your lockup. I'm like, no, let me say this. You're telling me you want to be with this person. You said, I've talked to you over the phone for 10 years. You never seen them in person. You like talked to them on the phone. Like, I feel like I've known them. You don't know them. You've only talked to them. You know what you know over the phone. Or you've only seen them through the glass.
I've always wanted to do hold on. I've always wanted to do a pen pal with somebody in prison, but just never give them a name. I give them like a fake name, like Allison Jenkins or some shit like that. And be like, yeah, I'm like 35. But I feel like that's mean. They're already in prison. You know what I mean?
I don't think I want to do pen pal. They can keep. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, because I remember there's this one true crime thing on Lifetime. My mom was watching. My mom watches Lifetime. I know. About this one woman. I hate to say these are all black people. She dated a murderer.
Depends on the context. No, I don't blame her because it depends on the context.
Just did it just cause.
Oh, okay, then never mind. No.
Yeah. You know, just cause. And she said, and she's like, I'm in love. And he's like, I love you too. Did
she die?
Yeah.
Fucking knew it.
He killed her. I'm like, you dated a murderer. What were you expecting?
I hear that. Oh, this shit smells so good.
Like I said, I can't wait until next week when, I'm so sorry, I'm getting really off topic. If you watch the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, you know. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 4 comes out March 12th, and when it comes out, I will be eating a bag of popcorn with peanut butter M&Ms and a Coke because I can finally have one.
Yeah, Amber does a line of Coke every morning. No, I'm kidding.
The soda.
It's a running joke because she loves the drink.
You know what I've been curious about? Like, girls falling in love with like serial killers. I think there's like that with I think Ted Bundy.
Oh, the brothers.
No, were they in love with them too? I don't know. And like
those brothers who killed their parents for a good reason.
Menendez brothers?
Mm-hmm. For a good reason.
Yeah, their parents. Well, no, because it's not confirmed that their parents molested them. Do I believe them? Little bit, yeah. Because if you watch the trial documentary, it's a bit fucked. The way they're reacting.
Mm-hmm. You know, if
so,
you know, people started really like because I think no, they didn't get out.
No, they tried for parole and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's that, and then you still have the woman who killed Selena. She almost got out, but then she didn't. It was safe for her to stay in prison.
Fuck that bitch.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that woman got out. She wouldn't.
She would have dead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she would have ended up dead.
What was her motive for doing such a terrible thing?
She went behind Selena's back and was like stealing checks and making them out to herself because I believe she was like a head of a Selena fan club. And she started working for Selena at one of her boutiques. Went behind and was laundering money behind Selena's back. So Selena was going to fire her and all that shit. I don't think Selena was going to press charges. Just fire her. So Yolanda shot her.
And now you got people who want you dead forever. Forever and ever. They won't and they don't care. Just she ain't never getting out now because she's safer in there. Gypsy Rose story, that story is everybody knows story Gypsy Rose.
Yeah. That shit's tragic.
And
then she became a meme.
Yeah. She has a daughter now.
Oh yeah.
She has her own reality TV show and everything. Who else is there's? Yo, there's so many. Like I know I watch like Law and Order and stuff because Law and Order, because of course those are majority are like true. And I know like some of them like freak me the heck out. Like I remember
Law and Order is not based on any true crimes.
I thought some were true.
Not most of them. There might be some, but It usually states it in the beginning of the episode whether or not it was true, but most of the time they're not. Same with like Law and Order SVU. Same with Criminal Minds. Most of them aren't true.
No, yeah, I just know with Law and Order some were true.
Some can be, yeah. Like based off of something that did happen in real life.
You know, y'all, these people are crazy, fucked up.
What's the time on the record?
Over an hour.
An hour and what?
Hour 13 minutes.
You think this is a good place to end?
Probably, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Because we've just been ranting on serial killers. But going down to the, like I said, in the biological aspect of it, there's no like true way to determine if somebody's a serial killer. Like there's been theories. Like in my criminology class, there are a bunch of theories that like certain facial features could determine whether or not you're a serial killer. That was kind of stemmed on racism, if I'm going to be honest with you. So no. They said like people with like big ass noses were known to be serial killers. I'm like, that's very inconsistent. I'm just saying. Of course, they tried to pin it on race, which if we look at the consistency of most serial killers.
Okay, can I say this? Look at the block on black crimes. 95% of the time it's drugs. 95%.
No comment.
I'm so sorry. And 95% of the time, it's drugs. It's drug related. Something with drugs.
No comment.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
So, what are we talking about next episode?
Next episode, we're gonna rate their
Death row
meals.
meals.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna tell you if they were ass or or these meals were good. And low key, I would eat it too.
Sorry, there's butter on these cornels, and I like eating them.
But you know, but that's all we have for today.
I talked a lot during this. I apologize. Mainly because I'm the one who knows the most about.
Yeah.
We basically just did the popular crimes.
Mm-hmm.
We can find like small city crimes.
Probably, yeah. But that is all we have for
I
today.
can interview my mother when she had to treat a serial killer because my mom's a nurse. My mom's treated a serial killer before. He killed multiple women.
That's a fun time.
You can ask my mom how that went. Oh, and then in my criminology class, there was not a detective. He was like a law enforcement officer that worked and found, and he didn't catch the serial killer, but they did arrest him and bring him in. I just don't think he was convicted of what they were charging him.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note,
so on that note, y'all, we will see you on Monday, and we'll be talking about death row meals. And about this time, you will probably get pictures of these meals. I'll probably edit it, and you'll see the pictures, so you can rate it too.
Yeah, we'll take like screenshots.
Mm-hmm. But we will see you guys on Monday.
Yes. Peace out.
Bye.